What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I have the camera in the wrong mode. Oh, come on, buddy. There we go. That's better. So, in today's video, I am flipping my Squiddy WH, and there's a good reason for that. So, I wanted to talk a little bit today about something that is actually, like, very important, in my opinion, to talk about in the balisong hobby, and I guess really any hobby where you're doing stuff like this. I guess this is also relevant in like the keyboard hobby. Today we're going to talk about RSIs, or repetitive stress injuries, and this is something that can happen when you put a lot of strain or do a repetitive motion over and over again. And it turns out flipping a balisong is one of those actions. You can put a lot of strain on your wrist by flipping and, doing that over and over again. Not warming up beforehand, not stretching properly afterwards, all sorts of stuff can lead to an RSI. And so the reason that I am flipping the Squiddy WH today is because recently I had a problem with that, where I was flipping and I noticed a bit of pain in my wrist. I could feel it kind of aching, and that feeling is no good. You don't want to deal with that. And so that is one of the good reasons that I have to switch to something like the Squiddy WH. A nice light plastic balisong is going to require a lot less work from your hand and your muscles, and so that is a good thing to try if you start to feel any pain in your wrist or anything like that, and you don't necessarily want to fully stop flipping, but you also, don't want to horribly injure yourself and have a carpal tunnel time or anything like that. Then I highly suggest something like the Squiddy WH, because that's going to give you that ability to kind of rest those muscles and not work them nearly as hard, even if you want to keep practicing and keep the grind up or whatever. And so, yeah, RSIs are a difficult thing to manage, but it is important that you pay attention to the strains that you have in your body, and you take care of the different parts of your body. I just saw something move over here. Is there a little creature? Is there an interesting creature? No, it doesn't look like it. Sorry, guys. I was really hoping I could show you a cool creature. Instead, we got to talk about repetitive stress injuries. So, to combat RSIs, as I've said, obviously, the first thing you can do is just flip a lighter balisong. So that's always great. But what can you do other than that? Well, one of the first things you can do is warm-ups before that you actually start flipping, especially if you're going to be practicing for a long period of time, or if you're going to be doing anything that requires you to, do some really intricate moves, or you're going to try to get a clip and you're going to do a bunch of takes of you trying to do that clip. Well, before that, just get some hand motion going. You want to do some figure eights with your hand, okay? So they're just up and down and around. You want to get those joints and muscles moving without them having to push anything, okay? So a warm-up is basically just you moving around these muscles, doing some figure eights, getting some motion going on, and getting everything, nice and loose and warmed up, so you're not starting from cold. And that's going to be just a good thing that you can do. Now, after getting that motion going, then you should be able to, get into your flipping. I'd say give it a good 30 seconds to a minute of doing warm-ups, just moving your wrist around, moving your fingers around, do some gripping exercises, that kind of stuff. That's before you start flipping. And then, do your flipping and all that. And then after you're done flipping, these are where the real helpful parts come into play. You're going to want to do some stretches. So I'm going to put the camera forward a little bit more so you can see my wrist here. I'm going to do some wrist stretches. Okay, so what you do, you hold your hand out in front of you, okay? You're going to pull it up, and with your other hand, you're going to grab your fingers and pull backwards, okay? This is putting a pretty good stretch on my wrist here, okay? So you pull backwards like that. okay? So you literally just hand out in front of you, grab your own fingers, and pull it back, okay? You want to do that for about 8 seconds on either side when you're done, all right? And then, once you've gotten that stretch, now you're going to do the same thing but reversed. So you hold your hand out in front of you, you point it down, and then you take this hand and you put your fingers on the back of this hand, and you're going to press basically where your knuckles are back towards you, okay? So you put it down like this, and you pull with your knuckles. You press down on this part with your knuckles, and you pull it towards you, and that will stretch your wrist in the opposite direction. And this wrist stretch is especially nice. This one feels really good. And you want to do that on either side, once again, for about 8 seconds at least. And then finally, you're going to do the same thing that you did before with this one, but you're going to do it upside down. So you put your wrist out now with your hand flat, you grab your fingers and you pull them down, and you're going to stretch your wrist in this downwards direction like that, okay? And once again, you're going to do that for about 8 seconds on either side. And that is a great stretch to do. Do some mobility exercises afterwards to kind of get yourself back into shape. But that is a fantastic way to kind of keep your wrists happy and healthy and make sure that you are not going to like long-term injure yourself. Balisong flipping is a great hobby, and it is not like something where you have a major risk of getting an RSI, but it is certainly there, especially if you're flipping nearly as much as I am, which is basically all the time. I am always flipping something. I find it hard to not always be flipping something, and so because of that, I am prone to getting an RSI. And so it is important for me to take care of my body, and to do that, well, that's how you do it. So yeah, for now I'm going to be using my Squiddy WH for a couple days as like my primary flipper, because that is going to give my hand the chance to sort of heal up and make sure that I don't have any sort of long-term injuries. I'm going to record a couple more will flips today with some heavier balisongs, but that is the only flipping I'm going to be doing with heavier balisongs, is just sessions for those videos. For the rest of the time, for the next few days, it will be me and Squiddy WH here having a good time together, and hopefully helping me heal up and not dropping it everywhere. So yeah. I don't know, this is a relatively short one, but I feel like it has some pretty good info in there. Those stretches are extremely important, and if you aren't doing them basically every night, or at least like if you can do them every time you are done flipping, then that's awesome, especially if you work at the computer and do a lot of like gaming or writing or editing or anything like that. You're using a mouse and keyboard for long periods of time, coding, that kind of stuff. You absolutely should do those stretches as well, because they don't just help with balisong flipping, they help with anything related to your wrists. If you're an artist and you draw for a living or anything like that, those stretches are mega helpful to keep you from getting long-term RSIs. So definitely try those stretches out, see how they feel. I think they'll make you very happy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this spicy little tidbit of information, and I guess I'll see y'all next time. Peace.